Hey guys! Welcome to Neil's Film Diary Part 2. In the first video, we talked about my top 3 favorite movies that specialized in astounding visual effects. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check the link in the description box below. So for this video, we will have a feminist reading and analysis of the film Raise the Red Lantern by the legendary Zhang Yimou, along with one of the best movies I've ever seen in my life that I want to see it again and encapsulate the moment, keep it in a memory box or capsule. And of course, it is The Handmaiden by Park Chan-wook. The first movie, Raise the Red Lantern, is set in 1920s China and tells the story of a 19-year-old Song Lian who becomes the fourth concubine of a wealthy man during the warlord era, and she must learn to live with the strict rules and tensions within the household. Similarly, in a highly patriarchal situation, The Handmaiden is set in 1930s Korea, the period of Japanese occupation, wherein a young woman named Suki is hired as a handmaiden to the Japanese heiress, Lady Hideko, who lives a secluded life on a large countryside estate with her domineering uncle. Personally, I believe that both films exceed major points that align with Jeanette Delannoy's feminist ideals and Laura Mulvey's visual pleasure and narrative cinema. But before that, let's discuss first the cinematic and thematic elements of both movies. One of the most notable elements of a movie is the setting. In this case, both films take place within dull and lifeless gray areas. The location of both films not only gives visual pleasure but also partakes in demonstrating the mood and life of the story. Next, of course, you have to notice the wardrobe design in any period dramas and movies. In Raise the Red Lantern, the outfits of Song Lian progress over time, which also symbolizes every stage or phase that is happening to her. Similarly, in The Handmaiden, every time Hideko is with Suki, there is this sense of autonomy with her clothes wear, but when she's surrounded by men, the lust and thirst for her is clearly felt through her outfits. To dig deeper within this context, let us now discuss the major points of both films. Based on the screen, let's relate it to The Handmaiden. In the movie, Lady Hideko is caged within the walls of patriarchy. From being groomed at an early age to becoming a potential wife and an asset to his uncle's pornography business, Hideko's body was already owned not only by his uncle, but also by the system and society itself. It is only when she ends up with Suki that she regains her autonomy and power over her body. On the other hand, Raise the Red Lantern demonstrated it too. The moment Song Lian enters the room and changes into the clothes she wears, it signifies the leash that the system has on her. It can also be apparent throughout the film how the patriarchal pressure tightens the grip on her based on her outfits. As I mentioned before, Song Lian's outfits are one of the highlights of the film, one of these storytellers. This is because we see her and the other wives through the male gaze. True enough to Raise the Red Lantern, since the master's face hasn't been concealed throughout the whole film and only focused on the women. On the other hand, in The Handmaiden, it is quite sketchy. Despite the barriers of class and race, both characters have the same perspective of one another, and there is no imbalance in the power dynamic. In doing so, the female gaze works to equalize them and aids in their sexuality. We can see and realize that this is what the women see in each other from their perspectives. The camera doesn't serve to highlight features or treat the women like objects. Instead, it gives us what Hideko or Suki sees, the raw, unedited female form. As a result, the gaze is somehow neutral. However, the intimate scenes are explicitly shown, ironically manifesting from the male gaze. The repetition feels compulsive and fetishistic in the same way Hideko's uncle lusts for books and Tamako obsesses over feminine finery. Lastly, in both films, we see to what extent a woman does to escape sexual enslavement and oppression or please the patriarchal society. Song Lian, the once innocent and smart educated girl, creates chaos to please his husband. In the end, she is worn out and barely recognizes herself. In The Handmaiden, both women create a risky scheme and plan, almost sacrificing their lives to escape from the mansion. Overall, I can say that both films are greatly created and definitely one for the teachings. It discusses the widest aspects and themes of feminism, so I really want to hear your thoughts, so comment down below. And that's it for today's video, and see you on the next episode. Bye!